Outside Barstow, on a stretch of Route 66 most people blow past at 80 miles an hour, a man spent 40 years building a forest out of steel and glass. No sign, no gift shop, just thousands of bottles catching the desert light. That's stop number 10, stay with me. Every year, thousands of people say they did Route 66, Cadillac Ranch, the Wigwam Motel, photo taken, done. But the real Route 66 is hiding in the gaps. In ghost towns, nobody mapped. In craters, the highway runs straight past without a sign. These are the 10 forgotten stops most travelers miss. We start in Missouri because before Route 66 even gets strange, it's already hiding something most people would never expect. Fantastic Caverns, just outside Springfield. It is the only ride-through cave in North America. You don't walk it. You sit in a tram, pulled by a jeep, and the cave does the rest. Temperature is locked at 60 degrees year-round. Stalactites that took 10,000 years to form hanging 18 inches above your head. Silence that has no comparison outside of it. The cave was discovered in 1862 by a farm dog that went in and didn't come home. Most Route 66 travelers blow through Springfield on I-44 and never know this is here. Don't be like most travelers. Stay in Oklahoma a little longer than Google Maps tells you to. Just outside Foyle, off a county road most people never turn onto, a retired school teacher named Ed Galloway spent 11 years of his life building something that had no business existing in rural Oklahoma. The world's largest totem pole, 90 feet tall, hand-carved, hand-painted, every inch covered in figures, animals, and faces that Galloway shaped himself. No crew, no commission, no audience watching. He finished it in 1948, died in 1962. The totem pole is still standing, still free to visit, still breathtaking. Ed Galloway didn't build it for tourists. He built it because he decided it needed to exist. There's something very Route 66 about that. Still in Oklahoma, and things are getting stranger. Afton Station is a restored 1930s Packard dealership turned Route 66 museum. The kind of place where the passion of the people running it hits you before you're through the door. Collectors who refuse to let history become a parking lot. But nearby, a few miles east on the old highway, is something you won't find anywhere else on Earth. The blue whale of Catoosa, a massive concrete whale, painted turquoise, sits in a pond in the middle of northeastern Oklahoma, built in the 1970s as a private anniversary gift for a man's wife. Now it just sits there, free, enormous, completely surreal. Oklahoma is hiding things. Keep driving. Cross the Texas Panhandle, and somewhere between Amarillo and Tucumcari, Route 66 delivers its first real gut punch. Glenrio, a town that straddles the Texas-New Mexico state line, meaning half of it is in Texas, half in New Mexico. And all of it has been frozen since 1960, the year I-40 bypassed it and ended everything. The diner, the motel, the gas station with the rusted pumps, the welcome signs for both states, all still standing, all abandoned. No restoration project, no heritage funding, no tour buses, just a town that Interstate America forgot, still exactly where it was the day the last family locked the door and drove away. Stop the car, walk the main street, you'll feel it. Here's the thing about Route 66. East of Albuquerque, it feels like history, like something that happened to America and left a scar you can still trace on a map. West of Albuquerque, it starts to feel like something America is still trying to understand. The desert changes, the stops get stranger, the stories get darker. Buckle up. Newkirk, New Mexico, no zip code, no gas station, no reason to stop, according to every travel guide ever written, which is exactly why you should. This is what Route 66 felt like before anyone called it an attraction. Before the nostalgia tourists, before the Instagram stops, before the merchandise. This is raw highway, the section that I-40 didn't just bypass but essentially erased. Drive it slow. Windows down, 25, 30 miles an hour, the pavement gets rough. The shoulders disappear. The highway becomes a line through nothing. That line is over 100 years old. And right now, there are no other cars on it. That's not a problem. That's the whole point. Arizona now. And this is where Route 66 stops being nostalgic and starts being genuinely unsettling. Two guns. In the 1920s, a man named Harry Miller decided to build a roadside zoo in the middle of the Arizona desert. He stocked it with mountain lions. He built a death cave attraction over an actual mass gravesite and charged people admission to see it. Then he shot and killed his business partner, on the property. The partner's wife burned the zoo down. Miller left. The highway moved. The town died. What's left are the ruins of the zoo. The cage is still standing. The stone walls still holding. The cave still hollow. Weeds growing through the cement floors where mountain lions used to pace. No fence around it. No velvet rope. No historical marker with a cheerful font. Just ruins, silence, and the feeling that something here went badly wrong and never got resolved. You won't forget 2 guns. A few miles west in Truxton, Arizona, the tone shifts, but only slightly. The Frontier Bar and Motel has been standing since the 1950s. It looks exactly as it did then. The bar inside is one of the last surviving original Route 66 saloons. Not a reconstruction, not a theme, the actual bar, the actual stools, the actual bottles on the actual shelf. And behind it, for over 40 years, the same bartender. She knows every face that still comes through. She knows which regulars drove this highway in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. She knows which ones didn't make it. She knows this last stretch of Route 66 the way most people know their own block. Stop in, have a drink, ask her what's changed. The answer will take a while. That's the whole point. California now, and Route 66 has one more surprise before it delivers the desert. The Bagdad Café in Newberry Springs. In 1987, a German filmmaker named Percy Adlon shot a cult classic here. A quiet, strange, beautiful film about this exact stretch of nowhere. It became enormous in Europe. It's barely known in the United States. The cafe, the actual filming location, is still there. Americans don't know this. Europeans make pilgrimages. Stop in on a Tuesday afternoon and you might find 3 tourists from Bavaria and a couple from southern France who drove 4 hours out of their Las Vegas vacation specifically for this stop. The coffee is fine. The walls are covered in Polaroids from 40 years of visitors. Order something. Stay 20 minutes. You'll understand why they came. Amboy, California. Population around 6. Roy's Motel and Cafe is one of the most photographed signs on Route 66. The red and white neon, the vintage font, the flat desert behind it. It looks like the 1950s dreamed itself into a photograph. What most people don't know, Amboy Crater is right behind the town. A dormant cinder cone volcano. A perfect black cone rising 250 feet from a perfectly flat desert. A 2-mile trail to the rim. Views of a lava field that has barely changed since the last eruption, which was roughly 10,000 years ago. Stand on that rim and look back at Roy's sign in the distance. The highway runs between a motel from the 1950s and a volcano from the Pleistocene period. Only on Route 66. 1 stop left. And I want to say something before we get there. Route 66 didn't die when the interstate system bypassed it. It became something else, something quieter, a road that only the curious find now, a road where the stops that matter most are the ones nobody put on a map. The last stop is the best argument I know for getting off the main highway. It was built by one man, in a town of a few hundred people, because he decided the desert needed something beautiful, and he was right. Elmer Long didn't set out to build a landmark. He started collecting bottles as a child, on camping trips with his father, on walks through the desert, and at dry creek beds and old dump sites. When his father died, Elmer kept collecting. Then he started building. He welded steel pipes into tree shapes, he hung the bottles from the branches, he kept building. More trees, more bottles, more color. By the time he was finished, Elmer's bottle tree ranch held over 200 trees and thousands of bottles, spread across a lot along Route 66 in Barstow that he owned for decades. The glass catches the Mojave sun and throws light in every direction. On a windy afternoon, the bottles click and chime against each other, a sound that doesn't belong to any category you have for sounds. Elmer died in 2019. The ranch is still there. His family kept it standing. Still free, still open, still one of the strangest, most quietly beautiful things on Route 66. No admission, no gift shop, no velvet rope, just bottles, steel, desert light, and 40 years of a man who decided that beauty mattered enough to build. Route 66 is 2,400 miles long. Most people see 50 of them. These 10 forgotten stops are the ones most travelers miss. And in the comments, I want to know, have you driven Route 66? Did you find anything that wasn't on any map? I'm working on the next Hidden America video right now. If you want to be the first to see it, subscribe. If this video made you laugh, dream or scream road trip. You will love the next video. Click here. The next wonder, it's one click away.